Yes, there we are. Of course, if you're watching this live, it means it's Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which is always time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us in many places, or if you're on the Facebook, check out Temptations Beach. If you are on YouTube, check out the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. And if you're on X, Twitter, whatever it is you call it, check out at Temptations as well. I'm Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs. He is Beach, a very cold, undisclosed location somewhere in the greater Cincinnati area. Beach, everything's this very frigid morning, this very frigid week at Temptations.
Super cold. It is true. I am in the Ohio area. I'd like to say, welcome everyone to the High Noon Hemp Show. It's great to be here. We've got another good show for you this week. It is high noon. It's Wednesday. It's the High Noon Hemp Show. It's what we do. It's why we're here.
That's right.
Let's get right to it. Don't forget, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. Stoner, do you know what the day is?
I know it's Wednesday, but I think it's some other day, isn't it, Beach?
It's Hemp Day. That's right.
Sweeping the world.
Every Wednesday at high noon, it's Hemp Day. Oh, yeah. Having fun with that one these fun. Anyway.
Right.
Let's go ahead and do our pledge and get on with it. As we do every week, peace sign over the heart. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted. One seed under the sun with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. That's right. Yeah. Now we can officially get this thing started. Let's go ahead and get into the product spotlight like we do every week here on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. The first one, how about some hemp bicycle playing cards? Yes, that's right. We have hemp bicycle playing cards. You need a new deck of cards. You know, there's a lot of cabin fever going on in this area anyway. You know, whether it's the snow or just the straight butt coldness that we're getting. You know, so you know whether you're by yourself or you got some people to play some cards with. How about some hemp playing cards? Something we've been carrying hemp playing cards now for probably 15 years or so. And of course, bicycle, I feel like they're like the biggest brand around now. I might say that because they were originally in Cincinnati. I don't know if they still produce their cards in Cincinnati. I guess I could turn this over look at the other side the next time and see if it says on the box. But bicycle, I'm almost pretty sure, if I know my Cincinnati history that well, bicycle, I believe, is actually a Cincinnati company, or they were at least had a manufacturing plant here at one point or another, and may still. It's hard to say. But I know that they still produce a lot of different decks on the other side. And I don't know if they 100% use hemp, but they actually have an eco deck. They call it the eco deck. And I would assume that they could just use the same cards here, and that would pretty much be done with it. Hemp is pretty eco-friendly, whatever you're making it into. Still a lot of talk about the old Delta 8 out there. So how about the Hemptations brand Delta 8? Again, our customers, I think, really enjoy this because of its calming. It's like super calming compared to CBD. I feel like, but not quite the buzz, obviously, as THC. And so we've got the tincture and we've got the gummies. So come on in. I think we're discounting the tincture because we have a lot of it right now. And so if you're in the market, there you have it. Something I just put in my shower because I needed a bar of soap, and what better soap than CBD soap? Again, I use it mostly face, upper body. And so, you know, if you are going to use a soap, did I send a picture of are you frozen? You were frozen. What happened?
Oh, was I?
I think you were.
Oh,
There he is. Wow, that was weird.
I
But
don't know.
I think right now we may just have the natural and the just CBD. But you know, CBD when used topically does not make its way into the bloodstream. So wherever you use it topically, and when I'm using CBD soap, I like massage it in hands. Obviously, if you're washing your hands correctly, you're pretty much massaging it in. But when I wash my face with the CBD soap and whatnot, I'm really kind of massaging it in, trying to get that into my skin. I think the anti-inflammatory products. Um, I think that I've always not liked the anti-aging marketing out there. But I really honestly now have to say, I never liked the term superfood either. I was like, we either have foods that are really good for us, and then there's the rest of the foods, which is, now we call them superfoods. And of course, hemp is on that superfood list. Um, but anti-aging marketing stuff is like ridiculous. But I truly believe that because of CB, our customers' use of it for its anti-inflammation properties, and the studies that we have seen that show that it is anti-inflammatory, would also work for wrinkles. And I often say that our pain or our cream that we have that our customers use for pain relief, the happiness cream, would also be a very good facial cream. You don't have to use much, but I really do think that it would be great for the skin and the face. If you're concerned about those things, I'm going to age the way I age and not pay much attention to it. But I also use a lot of these products on a daily basis, and I truly believe that, that the hemp soaps and the hemp shampoo and conditioner and all the body products and everything, are keeping me youthful in looks. I will always be youthful in mind, uh, but youthful in looks. I think I'm still doing pretty well. But take a look, take a good close look at my face next time, and then give me a guess as how old do you think I am if you don't know.
That's right.
Anyway, um, then the last one, and I just had a customer come in and buy one of these, so I thought that was pretty cool. Is the Hemptations Planet Everywhere Hemptations mask, and again, we were producing these when everything broke out. I right out of the gate found somebody that was making the hemp masks, um, so we had those first, and then we just made our own. Uh, Temptations masks. And so, if you're still out there looking for a mask, again, it's every winter now is going to be considered um, cold, flu, and COVID season. We're just going to add it to that. And,
Yep.
a lot of the reason that colds and flus and now COVID are prevalent this time of year is because A, we're indoors more. Okay, so the susceptibility of spreading it indoors goes up, and there's all these festive events, that we go to, all the holiday events and all those things help spread the word. What up? What up?
That's right.
And so, that's kind of why cold flus and now COVID are more prevalent this time of year. It's not because they're spreading through the air more. It's because we're indoors more, we're around more people, and therefore that's when the hand washing and maybe the continuing to wear a mask. I still see plenty of people that when they go into public are wearing a mask, or maybe it's even I don't know if it helps in the reverse, but either way. So if we cut down the spread, then that's what they've always said. It's nothing new. If we cut down the spread, um, then we won't see as much cold and flus and COVID outbreaks. So, and it's tough, if you got kids, they're going to school, blah blah blah. But best you can do is best you can do. So
Mhm.
anyway, there's a good photo of me modeling
That's
our
right.
mask as well. Just here on the product spotlight. Now, the one from my door is something that I still use on a semi-regular basis, and that is my iPad carrier, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But and again, it's I have had this probably, I don't know, almost 10 years now. I bought this, I think originally even maybe, no, it wouldn't have been that old. I don't think, for my travels to India. I know I have a Kindle iPad, Kindle and a Kindle iPad, and that's what I carried around India, and that was 15 years ago, at least 20. Gosh, it's been a while. I can't believe it's been that long since I've been there. But anyway, this is once again carries around the iPad that I currently are carrying around, and so this is one of those things that I use on a pretty regular basis. And if you look at it, it's sitting over on the chair there. And even in this picture, you can see that I have clearly used it. And so, and I know now it probably looks like it's got even more wear. So there you have it here on the Product Spotlight on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. And now.
Indeed. This, of course, brings us to what's going to be our weekly check of the Guinness World Records X page. Because if you are just joining us, you know that Beach has set several hemp records in this world. World records, if you will. But Guinness World Records at GWR, if you want to tweet them out on X, not recognize this. But 3 hours ago, they did post this dude a new record for highest running jump onto a platform. Now, this guy, he appears to have one leg, which makes, yeah, he does. So it's very impressive. But it's not hemp. It takes one tweet about hemp, just an acknowledgement. Yes, the highest running jump onto a platform. What's this next one? Deepest underwater model photo shoot. 163 feet. Yes, that's very impressive.
I guess I got to start doing the next segment underwater to be considered, maybe.
I bet if you did your part of the show underwater, they may recognize us. In any case, this is all my very long-winded way of saying that we have no recognition from the Guinness World Records for any of Beach's hemp world records, but we continue to press on and chronicle his massive collection in this segment just of the clothing alone in the beachwear segment. When I ask Beach one simple question, which is, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. If you're curious, and you really got to know, now you will here on the What Are You Wearing, Beach segment of the High Noon Hemp Show. Well, this is for the Ohio State Buckeyes, making it into the championship this year. So it's all based around the shirt. Now the ear wear, these are like double padded ear warmer bands, I should say, adjustable with Velcro. That was made here at Planet Everywhere. We did that. My jacket is my Holden ski jacket, basically. I was talking about this a couple weeks ago on the show, or last week maybe. Now the t-shirt is a Nike licensed Ohio State hemp t-shirt. I want to make that clear that this is, of course it is, because I wouldn't not wear hemp on the What Are You Wearing Beach or every day from head to toe, as I usually do. But this is officially licensed Nike hemp wear. I found this like 10 years ago out there in the universe somehow, because hemp finds me, actually. This found me a while back. I have roots to Ohio State Buckeyes football only because my brother graduated from there, my stepdad graduated from there, my stepsister graduated from there. So I have a lot of family from there. So if I follow college football, that is who I support. Now, I don't really follow college football that much, but they're in the championship, so I'm breaking this out on the High Noon Hemp Show. I'll wear this probably next Monday. I think it's Monday that the championship is getting played. And so there you have it. The Ohio State University Nike shirt. My jeans, as usual, my Kentucky Hemp Outfitters. Obviously, in the pocket there, you've got my Green Springs Technology pen, also in gray. This is what it's my scarlet and gray outfit. It's the gray trim, I call it. Black belt. I don't have a gray belt. I don't think. If I did, I should be wearing it, but I don't. And then underneath it, pair of Hemptopia briefs. Those are Canna-Leaf Satori socks. And then, of course, because we still have ice and snow, I'm still wearing my Hemp Wicked boots. And so there you have it. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. On this fine High Noon Hemp Show Wednesday.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we've got one of the fun little trailers that I make years and years ago here for your pleasure, and then we'll be back with some news.
Epic.
Epic indeed. I think we just did that one not too long ago, actually.
That seems kind of familiar, yeah.
Monitoring how often I show these. I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to devote this week into making a new trailer for 2025 for the High Noon Hemp Show. I think I did start making one for the High Noon Hemp Show, so I need to just check and see and maybe show that one. How about that? One way or another. Welcome again, International, with the High Noon Hemp Show. Thank you for tuning in from Brazil. I do believe that Brazil, I believe that they just legalized industrial hemp. Welcome. So let's get on to the news. Here is an interesting chart that I found. Now this is kind of contrary to the periodical table of proteins, which I usually reference. But this chart basically shows protein content. This is the amount of protein for 100 grams. And of course, you can see that hemp is second on this list. Now, on the periodical chart of proteins that Wired magazine did, hemp was, I believe, actually second to spirulina. And spirulina comes from kelp, I believe. But once again, it is verifying everything that I have said so many times on the show, and that is that if you are looking for plant-based protein, you need to add hemp to your diet. If you are not, you still need to add hemp to your diet because the nutritional value is on top of the list, and the health benefits, again, from your skin to your gut, those health benefits have been proven from hemp foods. Whether it's controlling the biogut region with with certain nutrients and things or whatever. And so, once again, proving hemp foods for everybody, hemp food for the world, hemp food to feed the world. I'm just brainstorming here, folks. You can go out and promote it any way you want to. But I'm always trying. I'm always thinking, businessman. No, um, and so, but hemp food for the world is a great idea because it's nutritional value. I cannot even imagine the possible backlash to like the first school system adding some type of hemp food to the daily diet of the kids, but it would be the greatest thing that they could do for a developing person, honestly, because the protein, high in protein. You've got your omega-6, omega-3 essential fatty acids, perfect ratio for those. Vitamins, minerals, including potassium, magnesium. It's high in fiber. You can only get fiber from plant-based material or plant-based foods. And again, hemp is pretty high on the list, especially if you use whole seed. And a lot of times you just see the hulled seed, which is the inside. They take the shell off, and the nutritional value is in that hull, which holds the oil. If you press enough of it, you get the oil. And so the adding the seed, the shell to it, it just really kind of is where you end up getting a lot more fiber in the mix. So great food product. All humans should have it. We should be figuring out how to grow it everywhere for the grain to get it into as many food products as we can. I know that it's not the same, but I feel like if we could even figure out how to replace half of the corn-based foods, just so you know, and I don't know if it's still true, but years ago, over 50% of the food products in the grocery store had corn in them. Okay, that's great for the indigenous people of the Americas. It's not great for Europeans. Okay, Europeans did not eat corn until we got to the United States, and we still don't digest or get much, if any, nutritional value out of the corn. And so, but I mean, I still believe it because I still turn over products. I think about buying something, I turn it over, and the first ingredient is corn syrup or corn starch or corn something. And so, and it wouldn't be so bad if it had any nutritional value, but it doesn't to the European diet. Once again, to the indigenous people, yes, because for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, they bred and ate maize, which is what we call corn, um, and it's kind of the same with potatoes. To be honest with you, I don't know how much nutritional value the Europeans get out of potatoes because that was another thing that um, they were the indigenous people of the Americas, all the Americas. It's kind of funny how there's this big joke about renaming the Americas America when it's always been America since the Europeans got here. Again, so we named it. The indigenous people called it Turtle Island for the most part. But anyway, and so the point that I'm trying to make here is there's so much corn in the foods that we get on a daily basis, and it's not good for humans. If we could replace half of that with hemp somehow, some way, it would be a nutritional benefit. And we could go, Americans could go on eating the crap that they eat on a daily basis. Um, you know, I've always said you're not supposed to be on a diet. You're just supposed to have a good diet, which means pick the foods correctly that you eat. You don't have to say, well, I can't ever have this, or I always have to have this, or whatever. But, you know, eat the foods that are nutritionally benefit and are less processed, either way. And hemp is a great food that we should be adding to our food. It's the main reason that I think, we should be farming hemp, all in all, is for the food products. And all that other stuff is kind of secondary because of how important it is to the human body, the benefits. So, all right. Well, I truly believe that Chicago is now getting racist with its intoxicating hemp bans. The governor has been trying and failing to get a ban on these things. But now all of a sudden, and I don't know if it's the mayor of Chicago or who's trying to do this, but they're trying to ban intoxicating hemp products just in the South wards of Chicago. And from what I know about the layout of Chicago, is the south part of Chicago is predominantly black. So they're not saying that, if you live in North Chicago, and again, I don't know much about it, but I do think that's where the rich white people live, or just the white people. I don't know. They're not trying to ban it in all the wards, just in the South wards. And so, once again, to me, that's just 100% racist. 100% racism going on there. Basically saying that the black people can't manage their intoxicating hemp either. I don't even know what to make of that. But Illinois has, they if you listen to a lot of the government or some of the government in Illinois, you would think that their intoxicating hemp problem is like an '80s crack problem. Honestly, they make you believe that kids are getting shot in the street because they're all doped up on intoxicating hemp or something, and it's just so ridiculous. And this all stems from the fact that they realized that in Illinois, if you don't know, a year or two ago, the companies were actually bringing in hemp extracted THC for the marijuana products in Illinois. And then there was kind of an issue with that, which seems ridiculous because their customers were getting the exact same THC. Okay, once you get it to its isolate form, or distillate, or whatever you want to call that, then it's just pure THC, more or less. And it doesn't make a difference whether it was extracted from industrial hemp or it was extracted from what they call marijuana. It's the exact same thing. And then now all of a sudden, the governor thinks that there should be a ban on intoxicating hemp. And again, it's stalled twice in Illinois, just like Ohio. It's the same kind of situation we have here, where I think the governor is completely misinformed as to what's going on. And once again, just by them saying that only the south wards of Chicago is where this intoxicating hemp ban is going to be, is like, it's like the propaganda that was used against marijuana in the 1930s to make it illegal. And that was, black people were using it, Mexicans were using it, and they were doing terrible things to each other, or white people. This is really kind of that same, like, again, it's like hysteria. I mean, and if they would have come out and said, the city of Chicago, the city of Chicago's limits, whatever, all the wards in Chicago, then it might have maybe made sense. But the fact that we're only talking the South wards, once again, is 100% racist against hemp. Anyway, it's just crazy. It's crazy what this intoxicating hemp world is doing to people. And it's like the old school marijuana propaganda coming back again for industrial hemp. which, in 1937, when the Marijuana Tax Act was signed, that included hemp. That's when American farmers had to stop growing industrial hemp. And of course, they didn't even know that it included hemp because they didn't call hemp marijuana. Hemp was hemp, mostly grown for rope at the time, sails and ships and riggings and parachutes and those kinds of things in 1937. And so a lot of farmers kept growing it because they didn't know. Just like doctors kept prescribing it because they called it cannabis. It was prescribed as cannabis, not as marijuana. Then all of a sudden the doctors were getting in trouble because they were still prescribing cannabis, as they had been doing for a while, because its medicinal aspects were correct or good or whatever. And so we'll see. Here's one of those best. This is the best long sleeve T-shirts for men. A hemp long sleeve. I do kind of I like the looks of this. This one was the best pocket tee. And again, there, I don't know how or who, but someone always tries to get something made out of hemp on these best of lists. And so I commend them. They found this one. And there are others out there, other companies, Young Maeve and some others. But this is Taylor Stitch's cotton hemp long sleeve tee. And I think it's fun because in the pros, it says hemp is super durable, 4 times tougher than cotton, which is true. But then you look over, and old Taylor Stitch is only doing like a 30% hemp blend. So it's 70% cotton, 30% hemp. Now, I've always said that I like to go on at least a 50-50. I think that even if you're going to call this an actual hemp, if you're going to, as a brand, so if Taylor Stitch is calling this, they are saying cotton hemp or hemp cotton. Cotton should be listed first because there's more cotton than hemp. But anyway, some hemp is better than no hemp. And so anyway, if you're looking Taylor Stitch, and I've always I just like the name Taylor Stitch. I don't know why. I just think it's a fun name, and they do a lot of hemp stuff. So go check out see what they've got going on. It's a little expensive, but it's not super expensive. I mean, I think the best long sleeve that won said it was the best overall was like ridiculously expensive. So anyway. So we've seen a judge told people they could take their hemp signs down. They were selling illegal hemp because that was illegal what the police were doing. A judge has in fact ruled that those raids on the hemp stores by NYC sheriffs and state officials were in fact improper. And they were going in without warrants and raiding these places, I guess. And that's what the judge said. He said, if you're going to go into these shops, and you got to get a warrant first. You can't just go in willy-nilly. And again, the reason you just can't go in willy-nilly is because the sheriff's department don't know the laws. Okay? State officials sometimes don't know the laws. Getting a warrant means you're going to a judge who should know the laws, okay, to say, yes, okay, they are doing something illegal. Let's go in. Not, they may be doing something illegal. Let's go in. And that's where, when we first moved into our Sharonville location, there was a couple cops that were literally harassing, pulled over one of my customers. So what'd you buy? And the customer said a jacket. And the cop says to him, they sell clothes in there? Okay. These cops were trying to get warrants to raid our shop, and the judge wouldn't issue it. The mayor of the city we were in was like, no. But if they really wanted to have, They could have illegally come in without warrants and ran our shop, even though they didn't even know what we were doing. Um, and so, that's where that small time cop mentality is what's going on here in New York, or was going on in New York, because they think they knew the laws, and they assumed, or they think they know the laws, or they assumed that these places were breaking the laws, because they had a hemp leaf in the window or something. Who knows? Because I truly feel like that's why, we had hemp leaves up on our sign, and these cops were so ignorant to what hemp was. They saw that as a pot leaf, and they truly believed that we were selling marijuana out of my shops. And again, we'd been open in the city for 15 years this time. And I told the one cop this. I told him, I said, we've been around for a long time. Okay, if I was doing something illegal, I'm pretty sure somebody else would have caught it, because I know that they were checking on us, and this, that, and all the other. Because they thought, because we had hemp leaves on everything, they thought we were doing something illegal. And, we never have, and we never will. I, follow the laws as closely as anyone can, whether it's the marijuana laws, or the hemp laws. And so, but there's a lot, we've been dealing with this forever, a lot of ignorance still out there when it comes to industrial hemp. And so it's obviously all the rage in New York, or it was, until a judge finally said, you got to stop this. This is ridiculous. And that's how bad it got. It wasn't just a couple shops like in Texas. One little small community that was getting hit by that mentality, and they got checked too. I think these were pretty wide, and there was a lot of them. So, cops do not have to know the laws. They will tell you that's what the judge does. Okay, they just arrest people for what they think they're doing wrong, more or less. Yeah, and then go from there. Um, so the government is adding hemp representatives to its Agricultural Technical Advisory Committee, better known as ATAC. And this was for trade already: tobacco, cotton, and peanuts. Now it's tobacco, cotton, peanuts, and hemp. And this is a good thing, because this is all about trade. So, adding hemp to an official trade agency, I want to say, they're an advisory committee. I don't know what that means in the government. Um, but officially adding hemp to it will, I think, again, legitimize the government wanting farmers to grow it so we can export it as much as anything. Now, of course, we still need to grow a lot here. We need to grow for our market first. But there is an international market for hemp products, no matter what it is. Hemp food, you know, Canada grows most of the grain right now, a lot of the seed grain. Now, again, we're starting to grow more and more as the CBD is kind of going down now. There are more farmers that are trying to get into the fiber and the grain part of it. But once again, the new farm bill, if it passes at the end of the year, under the right now the wordage for industrial hemp sends it backwards. It will make less farmers, if they're growing for grain or fiber, less likely to want to grow, because it adds more restrictions and more things we got to pay attention to that we shouldn't. It's fine right now the way it is. Or if we're going to change anything and make it more farmer friendly, as we raise the THC limits, even if you possibly want to separate the grain and fiber, which is a big move. There's a big movement out there to say, if you're growing for grain or fiber, there's no THC in those end products. So therefore, we shouldn't matter how much THC is in the hemp we're growing. And so, that's an end product thing. But once again, THC, there's none in the seed. If there's ever any even parts per million THC on the seed, again, it's on the outside and it was from the actual flower itself. Because again, there is no THC in the seed. So, anyway, and so this is good because now we have again government representatives saying we need to market this, we need to farm it, we need to market it, we need to make more products out of it. Let's get to it. Putting it in the category. I love the fact that it's in the same category as cotton, which is like leading competitor when it comes to fiber. They pretty much run the market. If it's not a synthetic fiber, then it's cotton a lot. But we're really trying to I want to promote organic cotton growing. I'm all for it. You take the chemicals out of cotton and that's half the battle. Now it still takes a lot of water to process cotton into a material, so we can try to figure out how to limitize that. It wouldn't be so bad either. But hemp is the choice for the end product because it's stronger, better, cleaner, all the way around. So we'll see how far that gets us. But the government is really trying to do their best to promote hemp farming, and not for just CBD. Making the seed acceptable feed for egg-laying hens was a great thing, and so that's really kind of going to change the industry. It is. So there you go. As I'm talking about chickens, you're posting about birds loving it. 100% true. And again, it used to be in exotic bird feed in the United States until the whole DEA issue in the early 2000s. But if you went into, in the year 2000, if you went into a pet store and you bought exotic bird feed, it had hemp seed in it. And then the DEA saying, hemp, you had to claim there was zero THC, then it actually was removed. A lot of the big exotic bird feed companies removed hemp seed from their product. And again, yes, birds 100% love it. And again, adding it as an acceptable feed for egg-laying chickens is huge, as far as cracking the door open to get it legitimized for all feed, all broilers, which is the chicken we eat, meat, beef, or dairy for that matter. And again, I'm not huge on either one of those industries. I'm pretty much anyway. But I would definitely like to see them give the cows hemp seed for feed and stop having to use antibiotics or hormones, or steroids or whatever. That hemp seed nutritional value will benefit the cattle as much as it will the end product. We're pretty sure of that. Right now there is a study for farm fishing, and I believe it's actually catfish that they're studying, and so to try to make it so we can feed farm fish, feed hemp seed basically to fish that are farmed. So that means you're going to eat them eventually or buy it in a store. Again, I think it's huge for any livestock industry. And so we'll see. It's a rigorous standards, But from what I saw with the egg laying is, they did the initial study, and then the FDA said, well, we really need to see this, and so they went back and they did that. And then the FDA said, well, we still need to see this maybe. And they went back and they saw, and they went through all the steps of testing and proving and whatever, until eventually the FDA said, okay, yeah, egg laying hens, it's acceptable. I still can't wait. And of course, we're going through a huge issue with eggs right now because of the avian flu. Obviously feeding them hemp seed may or may not have anything to do with that. And I love that because I think the leaves need to be used more, and juicing them seems like a great idea. But so let's keep moving forward with the good old hemp one way or another. So Honeywell, which I recognize the name, they seem to be like, it kind of reminds me of the movie where it's like, Honeywell, they're in everything. And I don't know what Honeywell does, but I know I've seen their name. And then a company called SGB Bioenergy are working together to develop a plant-based chemicals that will reduce the plastic industry's reliance on oil and gas. And they will be largely using hemp to do this. And so, this is something, obviously, if you've watched the show, you know how important this issue is to me. Because, again, we can probably replace 60 to 70% of all the plastic being made from oil and gas right now using hemp. So this is going to be a big development product, because Honeywell is going to develop the technology, and then I guess SGB will provide the infrastructure, workforce, and feedstock. So this is going to be something that once again, they're going to all of a sudden have all these products to offer, no matter who, the packaging industry, whoever needs plastic, okay, to replace whatever's being used now with a plant-based composite. Okay, we don't want to call it plastic because plastic is defined by a substance made out of petrochemical substances, basically, and so hemp composite is a real game changer, so to speak. I want to eventually reenact the movie scene from the Dustin Hoffman where it was like, I got one word for you: plastic. This is a famous scene in the '70s from a '70s movie, and it was true because plastic was, literally consuming America. Just everywhere. Everything had to be plastic, and again, it made it cheaper and whatever, more disposable, which was the counter not benefit, because plastic sits in the landfill for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Hemp composites will biodegrade naturally. But anyway, and so again, we're seeing more and more of these, and this is huge for the hemp composite world. Hemp composites are being used. Thank you. Hemp composites are being used everywhere, in everything, and have been for 20, 30 years. And so, getting that, we just got to keep moving this way. More and more hemp composites, less and less petrochemically based. I've always said that, if we replaced everything that we could with hemp, whatever better product, we could stop cutting down trees, we could stop drilling for oil. Crazy, right? What an idea. All right. So California is in a terrible spot with CBD right now, again, because they pretty much banned THC which means they even ban pretty much all the CBD products right now. They are looking to try to get a bill worked out because I don't think long term the ban would hold anyway. But they're going to regulate the THC and the THCA content, and it will ban any synthetics, Delta 8, HHC, any of those. And I know synthetic, and I've talked about this, synthetic gets a bad rap, but synthetic just really means taking one thing and changing it into another thing. And here, they're just taking hemp and changing it into hemp. And so, they're taking, and again, there's a process and it's a chemical process. And I understand that's kind of where people have issue with this, maybe. And I do too, because it's not the end product. And I've always said this about synthetic products as much as the synthetic waste. And so, yes, a concern of mine would obviously be where is that waste? What can it be disposed of naturally or safely? Either way. And so that is something that bothers me more by synthetic. Synthetic has a negative connotation, but in one sense, it doesn't always have to be bad. They're really just taking one component of hemp and they're using chemistry to make it into another component that is naturally in there, just not at high levels. And so, I don't. I'm not sure that it really matters. The whole Delta 8 kind of movement is over. Although once again, the new farm bill, they may try to do something same wordage. And again, all that stuff is just kind of sending the industry backwards, not forwards. Bans are, prohibition has never worked. Again, I don't understand why it's still not working. We're pretty much proven in the world that prohibition doesn't work. So everything should be legal, regulated, whatever, one way or another. If you think that there should be age restrictions or whatever, or regulate the industry itself and say, all right, well, we need to say, sure, if it's Delta 8 is synthetically made, we need to know exactly what you're doing and is that actually safe? Do we do that with other foods? Well, that's what HHC is, okay, because HHC is hydrogenized hydrogenized cannabinoid, which is again using chemistry to change one thing into another thing. Um, and of course, hydrogenized kind of has a negative connotation as well. And so because and that was only because I think partially hydrogenated butter was not healthy for us because butter's not healthy for us. If you go chemically changing it somehow, it didn't make it any more healthy for us. But anyway, so California, I think, knows that this ban that the governor has put on, and again, they're feeling it now. They're obviously starting to feel it, because now they're in talks to try to get some of those products back on the shelves where they should be. I was talking about, or no, here is something I came across. These are hemp pads for women. Um, we've kind of seen this product pop up, and I think that this person's actually really trying to um, produce these or find someone to back them to produce them. I think it's a great product. Using synthetically made fibers, or maybe even cotton for this is a terrible idea. Hemp is great for this A because it is wicking, as well as far as the material goes and things like that. And so, I think we're proving that it really absorbs well, one way or another. So I thought that was kind of, and then again, if you kind of, another just kind of fun part is if you really look closely at that bottom left hand box, there's something 420 on there. I forget what it is, 420 something. But anyway, just kind of fun that they added that in there. But these are a product that I truly believe benefit the end user compared to, I think, some of the things that women are using now. Um, you know, between these and some of the other products, they're not they are in no ways long term healthy, and women rely on these products continuously for a good part of their life. And I kind of put a lot of these products in the same category as I do deodorant. It's like they're kind of essential to people's well being. You don't want to go to work stinking, so use deodorant. I understand the marketing there, the ideology there, but the products that are in there, just as much as you don't want your deodorant to seal your skin, you don't want to use a feminine hygiene product that's made out of plastic or has plastic in it or is a fiber that has had chemicals sprayed and used on it since the minute it was put into the ground. And so, we're going to see more and more of these, products. And again, this is a great replacement to a product that, could be causing health issues in women specifically. That a lot of these products do not get the blame for. The markets are so huge that we don't. Has anybody ever done a ovarian cancer / tampon study? I mean, is that yeah? And that's just some of those things that I think of. And I'm like, again, how healthy are those products to the body to begin with? And they've got them. They've got women because they're pretty much essential to daily living. Even if it's just once a month or whatever. Um, and so you know, it's kind of not cool. That's the best way I can say it in the long run. But um, now this is kind of interesting because this study was showing how important the microbiomes are to the amount of CBD and the quality of hemp fiber. And so now they're talking about, um, the microbiomes that are living inside or on the hemp. Now this is kind of beyond science in my opinion, but you know yes, if you want to go to if you want to grow your hemp in homeostasis, then knowing exactly what kind of microbiome your cultivar should have is great. If it's in fact improving the quality of the fiber, then of course you want it. That's a huge issue. That is going to be the next big issue because that's one of the issues with hemp is finding the cultivars for the fiber that grow consistent fiber. Because it can get little tiny knots in it, these big long pieces. Okay, and so as you're weaving those big long pieces together, if there's any inconsistency in there, um, that can mess up machinery because they're used. I mean, that's one thing about cotton. Cotton's a tiny little strands of fiber woven together, so it does provide a more consistent fiber to a more consistent weave. Now, once again, we've pretty much proven that we can come up with hemp fibers um, that can be used even with cotton fibers to make blends that are pretty consistent. And of course, I don't care if I look down right now and I found some little inconsistency in the actual fiber, that does not matter to me. I know it matter to some people. Um, and again, this is, once again, in the next 10 years, we're going to go through the next evolution of hemp for fiber. And so, um, because at least in America, everything has to be, in their minds, perfect. um, and so we need to develop all those different weaves for all those different things, from jeans to jackets to underwear to whatever. And again, I have no problem with adding 7% of some recycled synthetic material. That's okay with me. If you need to get a little stretchy, then I think there's enough um, synthetic material out there that we can just, we can stop making as much synthetic material, but then start recycling it into um, more natural, better, eco-friendly products to reuse it and get. Socks need a little bit of stretchy in them. Hemp, 100% hemp does not work the best for socks. I will admit that. If you want a tight fitting pair of boxer briefs, like I think a lot of men, the majority of men wear, you need a little bit of stretchy in there, and so there is no perfect. Can we come up with 100% hemp T-shirt? Yes, we can. Um, can we come up with 100% hemp jeans? Yeah, they're all over the place now. Hemp is great for jeans, and those little inconsistencies don't matter as much there either. But um, so that's where we're going to develop. That's where all the farming development comes from now. And that's, if you really want to benefit yourself in the future farming market, um, fiber, grain, whatever, then start breeding and developing higher quality hemp for the higher quality markets. And then again, use the lower quality stuff if you really think it's not lower quality, because it's still 4 times stronger, tougher than cotton, one way or another. It doesn't need any herbicides or pesticides to be grown. Then it all has a use somewhere in some industry. If it's not good enough for the clothing industry, um, then it's still good enough for the construction industry. Hemp short fiber, what we call short fiber, it would work great with insulation for replacing like fiberglass type materials, as like what BMW and Mercedes and Porsche and all these companies are doing. Um, Replacing plastic or fiberglass components with basically hemp composite, and that's more and more every day. More and more every day, and that's the fiber grain industry. Once again, we need, and then 10 years from now, we'll see a substantial. We might still only be 10% in the clothing industry, but that's huge compared to the fact that hemp clothing's maybe 1%. It's probably less than 1% of the total clothing market right now. Um, and I know we gained. I think we might even be up to 2%, because over the last 20 years we've gained 1% or 2, and now it's exponentially happening if we can get more fiber material people to promote and contract the farmers to grow it for that very reason. Lackawanna College, I don't know where that is. They're going to do research, will develop and refine hemp cultivars. Just speaking of this, it's amazing how I can segue into this stuff, and I don't even really think about it. Develop and refine hemp cultivars geared for the application in bio-based products like green building materials. So we're talking hempcrete, hemp insulation, fiber insulation, all those things. Renewable energy. Now, that might just be the oil for renewable energy. Hemp oil has a very high flash point, so it can be used very efficiently in engines, so to speak, to make energy. Packaging, and that goes back to the composite part of it all. Fabrics, there's your material, and land remediation, which is also very high on my list of things people should be using hemp for, because hemp does such a great job of removing um, chemicals from the ground. And again, Superfund sites and anywhere like that, it's proven to work well, if not great. It's proven to remove, again, the indigenous people that used it up in Maine, I believe it was, uh, found success in removing 13 out of 22 of the what they call forever chemicals, which means they will never go away. The biggest issue there is they don't know what to do with the hemp now. Um, yes, man, hood lambs are the most awesome jackets. I wear a hood lamb like every other day in the cold. uh, but as far as phytoremediation goes, again, proven to work. Disposing of that hemp when they're done with it, that was the issue that the indigenous people are trying to figure out now. But it was very successful, quite successful at cleaning the soil, which we've known for a long time. It's been used in toxic sites around the world for a very long time, and more use for specifically phytoremediation in projects, cleaning waterways, cleaning water, uh, land, soil, and it's just another why I buy so much more into, my whole legitimacy is humans deserve clean soil, clean air, and clean water. If we have all those three things, then that's the world that we deserve to live in. And I'm as bad as everyone else. Again, I'm not gonna, I drive a car still. It's not electric, yada yada. There is no perfect, but that should be the goal for everyone, from the farming industry to the gene makers to the hempcrete people. Whatever should be the goal is everyone should be working together to create a world that has clean air, clean soil, and clean water. It's not even like, how can you be against that idea? It's like, I'm not, you don't have to uh, legitimize climate, you know. It's just, again, if we make that the goal, then we are always doing the things to keep the environment better. It doesn't have to be. You don't. You, all you have to know is we don't have clean water now. Look at how much it takes to purify the water that we have. We don't have clean soil now. Just look at all the algae growth in the runoff caused in agriculture and any of those things to know that. Okay. And we don't have clean air. Okay. It's not about who caused it or what did it. It's just that is what it is. It really is kind of so stupid when a human would say, "Well, I don't agree with climate change and whatever." Again, if you don't want to blame it on humans, I don't care. Don't blame it on humans. Blame it on nature somehow, but realize only humans can fix the problem. No matter who caused it or how we got here, only we can fix the problem. And the fact of the matter is if we just all asked our government, if you want someone to really represent you in government, well, then find out if they're for those three things. Are you for clean air? Are you for clean water? Are you for clean soil? Prove it. Pass bills that show that. Support those things in the government, because every human on the planet, that should be their right. Okay? And that's just from the things we use. If we could actually promote equality all over the planet, that, clean equality, add that to the list. But that's a mental thing. These are things that affect us physically. Um, and mentally, of course. Um, if you're eating food products that are terrible, over chemicalized, grown, blah, 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 then that's a health issue. And again, if we're eating food products that um, someone said should be on this food pyramid a long time ago, when things were a lot probably cleaner and better for us. But I think that all of those things should be changed. And again, I'm for the fact that nothing in moderation is going to kill me. Yes, I have a little bit of ice cream every once in a while. I still eat cheese, but do I have less dairy in my diet? Yes, because humans, it's not terrible for humans. Get the medical facts on that. We know how bad overconsumption of red meat is, processed foods. It's all been proven that the overconsumption of these foods cause serious health benefits. So, take them off the top of the pyramid, put them at the bottom of the pyramid. Yes, they're still okay to have, but your diet should not be based around them. And let's put hemp on the top of the pyramid because health-wise, beneficial. It's unbelievable. So, all right. Here's some cool shoes. I don't know if you can how to purchase these. I found this post on Facebook, but I really just kind of love them. I just think it's a nice looking shoe. So I hope that they're called Royal. Maybe Google Royal Hemp shoes. Look on Facebook for Royal Hemp shoes. They had a bunch of sizes listed. Now they were listed in European sizes, so I don't know if they're here in the United States or not. But I like the looks of them. I like the colors. So I'll see if I can't find some more actual shopping information where to purchase these. But just like you, I'm just going to go into Google or one of those search engines and seeing what I can find. All right. Well, to leave you with this week's show, I'm going to leave us with a very fitting comic. Maybe we'll just close all the shows with this particular comic because, as we say here on the High Noon Hemp Show, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
Right. See you all next week.
Peace.